Welcome to another episode of Sawdust Nation Podcast, the 130th episode with your host, Nick from MPG Creations, Naps Nutty Works LLC, and myself, Josh from North Country Woodworking. This is our Christmas episode, so Merry Christmas, and we'll be on here again before the New Year, but Happy New Year if you don't get to listen. We're going to start off the episode by tossing it over to Nap to see what's happening in his neck of the woods. Nap, what's going on, man?
Hey, so, I guess, because there's so many of us in this podcast right now. There's typically three of us. Somehow there's only two. But then again, I've been a serial offender of this a couple times. And I will say, for me, good reason, but not really good reason. I mean, I think one time I was playing football. The other time, actually, the only time I did that was once, and it was playing football. The other times were being me because I had to be at work. But, yeah, Nick's got drop his mom off, I think? Made her take an Uber. I would have made her take an Uber. That's what a real son does, takes him take an Uber. But yeah, so I don't know. I got a little bit going on in the shop, I guess. If we recall, I did those plaques a little while back for the civil engineering squadron here. And, wouldn't you guess it? I got an order for 5 more, and then 5 more after that later. But I'm doing 5 now just to, help them get ahead on the going aways themselves. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to make those. I actually got to glue up the boards for that tonight so I can do them all tomorrow. Because while I'm doing them tomorrow, I will be doing my spindle upgrade, which I'll talk about here in a minute. And then let's see what else I got going on. I got 2 of those baby shadow boxes, which I'll be getting to probably also tomorrow. I'm actually got a lot going on tomorrow because today I did more of it was supposed to be I'm starting jobs today, but I instead went through and fixed some of my tools, tuned some of the tools, cleaned off some of the tools. My bandsaw has risen from the dead. I finally, got off my butt and actually fixed the bandsaw. So I'm pretty happy about that because, there's been a couple times where I've needed it. And I'll tell you what, just didn't get to it. I didn't. I didn't have the motivation. You look at it for a minute, right? You get a piece that was broken, and then you're like, "Oh, this should slip right in." It didn't slip in. I'm like, "Screw this! I ain't touching this right now." And I'm not like a bandsaw guru or anything, so as it is, it's kind of like one of those things. It's like, man, I'm not really cool with this, or not really good with this thing, so I don't really care. Right out I don't need it absolutely right this minute, but I mean, there were times where I probably could have used it, to be honest with you, instead of doing some of the things I did do. But anyways, I went ahead and installed my in-feed, out-feed tables for my drum sander that have been sitting there since I got here. Because I ordered them, they came to the house, and then I was like, yeah, I'll put these on next week. Next week came. Oh, I'll put these on the next week. And the next week came, and still nothing. So I decided I finally, got to it and put those on today as well. I ordered some parts for my planer to replace a couple because a couple of them are getting a little rickety. I've had the planer since 2016, so planer's old. It's been doing me well here in the shop, but I'll probably replace the blades on it soon. I haven't replaced the blades since I got the thing. I've just flipped them. So that's, that's actually pretty damn good, but the drum sander, takes care of any little extra marks, I guess you could say the planer leaves. But I'd say if I got some new knives, I'd probably be better off. Hey, my phone just rang. I don't even know where my phone's at, to be honest with you. Oh, there it is. I forgot I plugged it in over here. Turn your stuff off or silence it during the broadcast. Yeah, that'd be great. Let's see what else. So getting to the spindle upgrade. So I wanted to start using my 1/2-inch collet spindle or my 2.2 spindle that Daniel sent me from PW and CNC. So currently, actually, if you're watching, I tore my Z slider apart, which really isn't much tearing apart. He's
playing with his toys while he's on the podcast.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you can make good use of my time. I'm talking about things and, just doing things at the same time. Z slider, not too hard to pull apart. Watch the video. It's like a 2.5, minute video. And old buddy's like, yeah, this is so easy. And I'm like, homie, you just took that thing apart in like 2 seconds. And I'm sitting here struggling. Like, what the hell am I doing wrong? And I was like, nope, it's just caked in stuff. So I had to sit there and I put a little MA into it, and it eventually came off. So I took the bottom plate off. I actually went from the old 65 millimeter to the old 80 millimeter, which is vastly bigger. I mean, I'm pretty excited to put it on here. I'm actually very interested to see what the weight difference is, if any at all, versus putting this on with this or 65 millimeter on this Z slider with an instead now an 80 millimeter. So we'll see what happens. I don't think it's gonna be much difference because the ball screw technology, if you will, it's pretty sturdy. Mm-hmm. I mean, and these rods aren't flimsy. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to be too much difference, to be honest with you. I might have to turn up the wattage on the motor so it keeps it from dropping and losing any steps when it goes up and down. But that's really like two clicks away to fix. Let's see, other jobs I'm working on. So I have a trophy that I've started making. I've got an urn that I'm making for my buddy's dog. That's a new one for me. I got to make a spline jig tomorrow. So that's on the list of things I'm doing tomorrow. I'm starting like 6 projects tomorrow. It's just, it seems to be, that just seems to be what happens. And you may wonder, like, why are you doing this in the holidays? Well, I'm off all week. We have our holiday leave. So, it's like leave, but not leave. So I don't have to like take leave, like my chargeable days. It's just kind of like, hey, here's some days off. We're working so hard throughout the year. And then, come back to work next week. Oh, okay, cool. So that's what we're doing. Tomorrow I have to do a check-in with my people because, I can't go so long without making sure people are living. So I got to meet up with all the off-base people at the mall food court tomorrow. So probably breakfast with them tomorrow morning. But yeah, there's not really a lot of stuff that's progressed in the shop. A lot of it's just I'm starting or I'm doing this or doing that to get to this part. I figured going into the new year, it's probably smart to have my tools all built, calibrated, cleaned, all the things. I'm starting already on jobs, so they won't really be clean going into the new year, but they will be a little bit better off. I got to get some 3-in-1 for my bearings and stuff, but yeah, all around busy. I mean, it's been real low threat. I have all day to work on things because I have this week off, so it's been a little different to where I'm not like rushing. Like in the morning, I woke up this morning at like 6:30, 7 o'clock. Check my email because, even though I'm on my holiday leave, I have my computer here at home because let me just say, if you're someone that's a boss or has a job where you're the only man in the shop, like Josh, you leave your computer one day, you're going to have like 25, 30, maybe 50 emails. And
you can't leave your computer one day.
No, like how do you catch up with that when you come back? And that's just something I've always dealt with, when I've left as a lower rank, but now as a higher rank, it's like, okay, I actually need my computer with me so I can at least check it once a day to answer, put out any fires, which I haven't checked it since like, I want to say 12:30, 1 o'clock. There's at least 20 emails in there right now, probably. Mm-hmm. And I will not see those till tomorrow because I'm not looking at it. I'm on my break, okay?
But you're thinking about it. That's enough.
Oh, I'm totally thinking about it. Like, work never stops. I think the only time I'll stop thinking about work is when I'm out of the military. And I still got 6 to 16 more years for that, so we'll see.
6 to 16.
Yeah, right? So 6 to my 20, 16 to 30. And if somehow I make chief, you never know. But we'll see. I'm not holding my breath for any of that kind of stuff. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, well, cool.
We got Holtner in our chat here. He wants to talk some laser.
Oh, you want me to talk laser to you? Oh, I'll talk laser to you. Dirty girl. No. Let's see. Yeah, let's see it. Ben, hello, okay. Yep. I'm just not seeing the chat because I'm being lame and playing with my toy while I'm talking here. Let's see. Ben says, hello, everyone. Just want to tell everyone Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Ben. Mm-hmm. Failure memory bank's full. He's not wrong. Because I can tell you what, especially if you got kiddos, that stuff goes by fast.
Too fast.
So, yeah, my kid's 5 right now, and I feel like he was just like 2 yesterday. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's been definitely interesting as he's growing older. And then Todd, what's up, man? So Todd actually, with my bandsaw stuff, so I put in my comment or my reel about the bandsaw. I said, hey, so this bandsaw guide that I got, like T-side glide, kind of with the table saw, you have it. Well, on the bandsaw, you have the same thing. Funny thing, it goes from 1 inch to 12 inches, nothing in between. I'm like, somebody help. So Todd actually hit me up and goes, "Hey man, there's actually you can get some extrusion, do literally the same thing, bolt it on just like you would with anything else. It would slide right onto that the fixture that holds it for the original one. So I'll be doing that so I can get because most of the stuff I'll resaw is like between I'll say 3 and 6 inches is typically what I'll probably resaw, and most of that's going to be like inlays, this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
The bandsaw was still smoking, but I think I figured out what it was. It's not the wood. It's not the blade. There's something that's in the upper wheel that when it starts getting some tension or some friction, it's starting to just like smoke up a little bit. But it's not like a bad. That's the thing. It's not the bearings. I checked all the bearings. That's what's crazy. But it stopped doing it. It's only when I'm doing super tall pieces. So I'll probably I'll probably mess around with that a little more, when I actually need to. Mm-hmm. The next time I have to resaw something that's 6 inches or more is probably not for a while. A lot of the stuff, like I said, I'm doing is more like 2 to 4 inches, and that I did a piece of 3-inch wide board earlier, and it went through easy. So I'm not really too worried about that kind of stuff anymore. So thanks, Todd, for the heads up on what I could do with that. And Voltner, and then Tom answered me. Voltner. So it's my Onefinity Z slider. I just swapped out the spindle mount because I'm getting ready to put the new spindle on my 220 spindle, which I'm pretty excited to put on. But yeah, I'll talk laser to you here shortly because I don't want to take too much more talking time, even though we're waiting for Nick. Nicholas, where's Nick? And yeah, I only say that just because I like messing with Nick. And when he eventually listens to this episode, he's be like, "Nap, what the F? Like, why you keep calling me out for no reason?" I'm just gonna keep doing it until he gets here, just because I think
he's probably watching the YouTube right now, swearing at you.
Hang on, let me see. Yeah, probably. I hope he is because it'd be really funny. But Josh, man, I know you got a lot going on. I mean, you're, like I said, only man in the shop, but yet you're looking like you're rocking a full beard, which means you're probably on your own leave as well, but you're also still working. So tell us about it. What's going on in the shop,
man? So for work-wise, we're actually in half days. I made the executive decision to telework because, well, I'm going to do that. Everything I need to do is basically I have to get on the computer each day, and I have a work phone with me, a cell phone. And when they're flying, I'm working. So I actually just got a phone call not too long ago, and I had to tell them that I don't work past, my duty hours, and I will not work 24-hour ops. So that was a fun conversation, but that's the kind of thing that happens. But going past work, we got a lot going on in the shop. We have a few ornaments popping up here and there that people want. So design time, cutting time. And I wish you were a Patreon watching what I'm watching right now. He's pounding on his toy. Anyway, moving on.
I'm looking like Zoolander, okay, trying to get a freaking hard drive out of a computer, okay? That's what it looks like over here.
That's exactly it. So that's why I'm teleworking. I got the beard. Obviously, it's only been a couple days, but grows in pretty fast and thick. Anyway, moving on. Like I said, we got some ornaments and stuff we've been doing. The wife's been securing those and getting those deals. I had a client reach out to me. They placed an order, but never gave me a due date. So my assumption is you get to it when you get to it, in line with everyone else. No, they wanted it before Christmas. So discussed it with them, let them know that that may or may not happen depending if I get time or not. And
you discussed or you are disgusted with them?
A little bit of both. It is like they live a street or two down, so there's no shipping or anything like that. When I'm done, they can just pick up. It's a CNC / laser job. It's one of the bigger coin displays I've done for a desk, which I don't understand. It's a 29-inch by 13 coin display for a desk.
Why do folks want such long coin racks? Like I get why, but
it's wings.
Okay.
It's a Navy, no, not Navy, Marine aviation wings. I'm obviously not in the Marine, so I honestly don't know that well. But they gave me their badge, and I did it up. They wanted 60 or 70 coins to fit in there, so I think I nailed that. I already did the CNC part. I just need to put in the laser, which is kind of nerve wracking because once it's CNC'd out and the shape is there, I have to align the laser just right in order to get that complete. So I'll be doing that here probably tomorrow because I don't want to do it late at night and really mess that up because I don't need a coin rack like that. So I'm actually currently engraving that large trunk that I'm working on. I went and started getting that complete. I had the help of a good friend, another aviator down here, Matt. He's starting his woodworking journey as well. He got on Instagram, Etsy, and everything else. So it's been fun watching, his progress and how he's doing and all that. And he's going under the name of Allard's Custom Woodworks. Good guy. He's been helping me in the shop. There's been a couple different things where, I don't typically ask for help in the shop. So when he stopped by and gave me a hand, it was kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't know what to tell you to do. I actually was doing everything and talking about like how you're supposed to be doing it. And I realized that I need to let him get hands on. And it's a good time for him too, because I'm right there. So he can start learning some new techniques and stuff. So he got some hands on, helped me do some of the joinery with the panels. I ended up going with a miter joint for the trunk. Now, it's not going to just be the miter. It's going to have some splines in there as well. And I'm also going to reinforce the inside. And that's how I'm going to hold my trays. So
you're not going to butt join it, man? Come on.
No, I would have loved to. That would have been much, much easier.
I mean, listen, there's some folks out there that just swear by those things, and they're great.
Yeah. Well, now, originally I was going to do finger joints, but having a 20 by 40 inch panel, trying that out, I couldn't get it to sit right with me. So I'm going to, after this, and I have time, I'm going to actually start progressing and trying to train and try out different techniques to get something or a jig or something that can allow me to do that and I feel comfortable. But I didn't feel like doing that on like $600 worth of walnut. So,
Oh, so what you're telling me is you like to produce quality things. Okay, that's good.
Yes, excellent. That's what the attempt is here. So we're trying that.
Good job.
So I did the two sides. They're both engraved right now. And then I'll be doing the front and the back. And then the top will be obviously the last thing because I have to glue everything together. But I had to engrave everything because I cannot fit this trunk in the laser without, being panels. As is, I'm pushing the 40-inch width on the laser. Excuse me. So earlier today, I had the CNC going. I had the laser going. Honestly, that laser has been a workhorse. I've been running that almost daily, nonstop, between the ornaments we did, continue to do, and other little jobs that come up and knock out. Last night I did, with getting the panels for the trunk set and the 45s done, I went ahead and did 3 plaques for some troops that I work with going away. We're losing some good people. Our team was a really good team. It was one of the few times in my Air Force career where I could walk into a shop, everyone maintained what they were supposed to maintain and did what they were supposed to do. And basically we could work without talking, and it was that streamlined. But I mean, everyone needs to move on to better things. So I hope they do well. They're good people, and it's a small Air Force, so probably I'll meet again sometime somewhere. So with that being said, that leads me to why I'm working every day. I'll be working tomorrow. Should be one of the last busiest days, so it won't be so bad. But I'm trying to get enough time to get this trunk done because I would like to get it done before Christmas. Going on that, I actually went to Rockler today to grab some of the Nap really should move the camera down.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
So we have a Rockler down in Morristown here, and I took Matt and myself went down there and we did the walk around. I'm looking, Jesus, this is like OnlyFans happening right here in front of me. And I didn't subscribe at all. I just want to put that out there.
Sir, you actually created the page for this called the Patreon fans. So
you're right, I did. It's all my fault in the end.
Sorry, you're the producer. I'm just the actor. Your world living
anyway, moving on. So we're at Rockler, and we spent some, it was the first time I was actually get to look around, go down each aisle, talk to some of the guys working there, and have I got some hinges and all the hardware I needed for the trunk. Still kind of looking for some handles on the side. It's one of those things where they want bronze. So there's very few things in bronze. It's all in brass and nickel and like everything in between. So, I figured all that out. Looked at some of the tools and with the wood they had, and overpriced wood. I hate to say it. So basically, long story short, went to Rockler, got the stuff I need. Was a one-stop shop. I thought I was going to have to go to Home Depot and whatnot, but I didn't. So it was a win there. I have some 3D printing to do. I got waiting for the order of filament to come in and knock that out, and then I'll have 2 packages going out for that. I have some things. I have panels and stuff glued up I might have 2, but shadow boxes. I have one shadow box due in the beginning of the month, and then a military working dog container, and then a plaque and some other stuff happening in January that have already been basically, invoiced out, ready to go. I'm working on the second shadow box. I'm hopefully we'll get that in February if I can slide them that far. So I'm already starting to book in February. This beginning of the year is getting really busy already, which is good in some ways. But work is picking up again. So it's one of those things where it's like, how far do I want to schedule things and how much? I have to be careful.
Just do it all.
Make sure that balance is there. I am doing it all right now. I've been staying up till 2 o'clock almost every day to try to get things knocked out. That trunk has been killing me. Those large panels are it's a massive trunk. It is just huge.
I bet you that thing weighs a good 60, 70 pounds easy too.
It's going to, because it's going to have one large tray. Actually, at the top is going to have uniforms in it. And then there's going to be a tray for a shadow box that will have hinges and a latch so they can actually go into it if they would like. That's a development that happened today. I have a challenge coin rack that's going in there and flags. So it's going to be hefty. That's one of the reasons I haven't got handles yet, because I'm looking for the right handles that are going to be able to handle the weight.
You should get love handles.
I already got those, but I can't really install those onto the trunk. So yeah, I just got a lot going on. I'm not going to lie. I've been busy in the shop. I've been jobbing. Basically, the machines have been going nonstop. The CNC not so much, but the laser for sure. So like I said, I've been scheduling out, trying to get it as smart as I can. So once I'm done with this trunk, I should be done until the 1st. So I'll have some time to clean up the shop, kind of recover. But I'm really trying to get that done, finish my Christmas shopping, and bring in the Christmas and the New Year with the family, unhindered by orders. So that pretty much wraps my shop talk up. Like I said, just busy and trying to manage. But go ahead and toss it to Nick and see what's happening in his neck of the woods.
Man, I'm exhausted. And I know I say that every week, but it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So the holiday season's here, obviously. And I'm happy to have family down visiting and all that. But I'm trying to weave in some of my last minute things I need to finish for deadlines to meet. So yesterday I mailed off an order. I mailed off a Etsy order, actually. It was 9 of the tab plaques that I make. Mm-hmm. It was one of the individuals who got a hold of me on Etsy and was like, "Hey, can I order all these?" And I was like, "Well, get with me offline and I'll give you a better price. This way you're not paying for shipping on 9 different items, So yeah. I hooked it up and got it done. That was I think it took a week to get those out. I finished the sign order. I completely closed it out. It's gone. I shipped it off, but I cut foam in the shape of the sign, which is a cylinder. And Nap's got his vibrators out. If you're not watching, he's holding his old one, which is kind of small. It's a 1.5 kilowatt magic wand the Hitachi one, and he's got what's the big one? 2.2. Yeah, it's that 2.2 kilowatt.
2.2.
That's that French tickler. Anyway, so
Match that mustache you got has growing right now.
I know it's dirty. But anyway, this past week I got out of work early one day, and I met Stan at Rockler down in I almost said Charleston, dude. I don't even know what day it is. I met Stan Davis at Rockler, the new Rockler that just opened up in San Antonio. That store is nice. I mean, no, I'm still a woodcraft guy, but that Rockler store's got a lot of stuff in it. Except I walked in and I was like, "Hey guys, how y'all doing?" And they're like, "Well, let us know if you need anything. We have it all. We just stocked up because it's a grand opening." And I was like, "Okay, I'll let you know." And then like 10 minutes later, I was like, "Hey, by chance, do you guys have the bench cookies?" They're like, "Yeah, they're over here." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And then I was like, "What about the monster cookie?" Because that's what I was looking for, the one that snaps together.
The big one? Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, "Yeah, we sold out." I'm like, "Come on, man. You said you had everything."
Nap, you're not supposed to be putting that in your mouth, man.
Listen, I'm telling you what. All the things that could go wrong with this right now might go wrong. So you might see in the next 5 minutes or so. So stay tuned.
To your point, Nick, I think there's a place for a Rockler and woodcraft. Yeah, sometimes they carry, similar stuff, but I wish I had both in the area because I would go back and forth between the two. Having just one kind of, I feel, limits competition, which means prices can be just a little bit more, and obviously selection.
Yeah, so I didn't actually interrogate them on what they had in stock because I wasn't really interested in buying anything other than the bench cookies. Plus, I just wanted to kind of stop and see Stan since he was in the area as well. But they do. The store is really nice. It's a brand new building, so of course it's going to be nice. But anyway, let's see what else I got going on here. I just got an order for a shadow box in the shape of a waving flag, not a wavy flag. You ever see the Buccaneers logo?
Yeah.
How that flag looks like it's waving. That's the flag, but it's not going to have the logo and stuff in it. It's just going to be that shape.
So it's going to be a waving flag. That's 2D.
2D, yeah, but you know how the logo looks on the helmet? That's how it's going to look.
Yeah.
But it's good. Like the center is going to be cut out for a bunch of stuff that goes in there. I thought that was a cool idea. What else? Etsy, man, I tell you what, Etsy's been good to me the past few days. I keep getting orders on Etsy, and by the way, I started taking orders again.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I think it's safe to say that the deal for this house is kind of dead. So had some issues. I want to call them differences of opinion, but I don't think I'm going to be going with this builder. So I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to mention who's the builder unless I already have. And if you know, you know.
I can only imagine because there's only 2 or 3 different types of builders in Texas, and there's one of which that I could fight right now. But yes, I probably know.
So the search continues. Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, man. I know you were pretty excited about it.
Dude, and tonight I was everything was going as planned, and then Mama wanted to go home, so I got to take Mama home. Sorry, brother. She's an old lady. No offense, Mom. But yeah, so that's all I got going on right now.
Daniel, if you're listening to this podcast right now, I want to know what level of Loctite did you put on these damn NPT fittings? I literally cannot break them free, and I'm afraid to put too much pressure because the last time I did that on a spindle, not his, but on a spindle, I snapped the threading. I think Josh did the same thing, but with the cool connector. But I think that's just because he may or may not have just happened to get a defective one, which does happen in production type things. But I can't get this off. And I'm afraid to put too much on here. Because if I do it, it's going to break it. And you're going to see me get so mad.
So, maybe he welded them on there. Who knows?
If he welded them on here and there's not a single mark on here, my man is a genius.
If he tack welded them.
Well, he is
tack
a genius,
welded them
yeah.
and then...
But if that wraps up your shop, man, it's the holiday episode. So I do have some questions for you, gentlemen. I'm curious.
Okay. Oh, I forgot. It's Christmas time.
Yes. What is your favorite Christmas movie? Go.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Hands down.
Yep.
That's a good one.
How about you, Nap?
Just because it was something I watched as a kid, Santa Claus with Tim Allen. The first one, not like the second one, but the first one.
I like that one too. That was good. What about you, Josh?
Our family favorite is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. But my personal is It's a Wonderful Life. I really enjoyed that. I've watched that every Christmas since I was growing up. So it's almost a necessity to watch it at least once during the holidays. And the black and white version, not the remake, but the redone colored version.
So not for nothing, I was looking up Christmas movies on the internet the other day, and I stumbled upon National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and that was definitely interesting.
I bet you did.
Is that the new DVD you see in the background?
Mm-hmm.
Voltner likes Die Hard. Okay, so real quick, I gotta say, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Fight me.
Die Hard
because
is a
people
Christmas. It is a Christmas movie.
But there's so many people out there like, it's not a Christmas movie. I'm like, I'm gonna fight you. It is a Christmas movie. I don't care what you say.
There's a Netflix Disney series with Tim Allen, which is a spinoff of Santa Claus. I've seen that. I haven't watched that yet, but I'd like to.
So, did I tell you guys about my neighbor across the street? How nobody likes her and how she's just
yes, you've told us multiple times and how crazy she is.
Has it been on? Did I did it on a podcast though? Was it on the podcast?
You have.
Yes.
So
a couple times.
My mom asked me like, I wonder what she's doing for Christmas. And I was like, she's probably visiting with the ghost of Christmas past. This is freaking Scrooge.
Probably not wrong.
What is your favorite Christmas meal? Like some people have ham, turkeys. What do you guys traditionally have?
Well, since I went first last time, I'll go first this time. We traditionally have Christmas Day is filled with multiple courses, but Christmas Eve is my favorite. Because we cook fish. We cook a lot of fish. We do calamari inside the pasta sauce. We do shrimp, breaded shrimp, and fry them up. And it's just a good time, and the house smells like terrible afterwards. Especially when you got to clean the squid. Oh, Lord. But, yeah. How about you, Nap?
That's a tough one because we never really had like a traditional meal. Normally, it was just something different every year. Like, for example, so this year I'm doing a smoked brisket, but that's mostly because I'm going to have a bunch of people over. And brisket's one of those things that you can just get a big slab of meat, smoke it, and get a good amount of servings out of it. And it's easy to cut down and whatnot. Whereas like turkey and stuff, don't get me wrong, carving a turkey is not really hard to do, but it's more time consuming when I could just take 2 forks and shred, brisket up.
Oh, come on, man! You got to use your reciprocating saw to cut the turkey.
Who says I don't?
It's currently in use for other stuff, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So,
what do you mean?
I'd have to say that, yeah. If I were to give my favorite stuff or favorite, I'd have to probably go with it's like a quiche. That's because my grandma, she made it every Christmas. God rest her soul. She's not here on this world anymore, but she used to make some damn good quiche, like pie type, but not like little ones, like the big one, and it was pretty awesome. So I'd say that if we're talking about our savory dishes, if we go into desserts after this, that would be good because that's a whole.
You're probably going to hit that up too as well, yeah. For me, I mean, like we change it up. Sometimes it's ham, sometimes it's turkey. At this year's turkey, salmon. I think we did 1 year or 2 years. But I like a good prime rib. There's nothing that beats that. That I'm partial to that during the holidays and my birthday. But we're doing a turkey this year, so it's a pretty big turkey too. So it's gonna.
Are you gonna fry it?
No, I don't have that set up. So I mean, I could smoke it. I can go and grill it, rotisserie, pretty much everything in between. But we don't have the frying set up. So, but yeah, we had a fried turkey for Thanksgiving at my parents' house, and it was amazing. So,
yeah, but you gotta be careful. You don't blow your house up when you do that too.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the videos on YouTube. You can see left and right people just doing stupid stuff. So that reminds me, be careful out there cooking your dinners.
Yeah, make sure you thaw your turkey before you drop it in the hot oil.
And don't be a Tim Allen and
in
burn
general,
it and have to use a fire extinguisher on it.
Yeah, well, that's why you have Denny's. One chocolate
and
milk.
then somehow turn into Santa Claus, and you didn't read the Santa Claus, and then you become Santa Claus. Yeah, it's
what about the A Christmas Story or what is it? A Christmas
I like
Story
that one too. That's
the dogs tore the turkeys apart, so they ended up eating duck.
Oh, I've been pissed. Oh, going to the Chinese restaurant. So there's quite a few movies I like watching during the holidays. It don't always happen, but we try to watch as many Christmas movies as we can. But it's hard because with the kids, you have a lot of the Polar Express didn't want to watch nonstop.
Oh, yeah, that new age.
Polar Express isn't too bad, though. I actually like that movie.
After the 7th time, it's like...
Probably not. Okay. You seen Guardians? That's a good one, too.
Yeah, Guardians is a good one.
With Jack Frost on it.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
It's actually pretty decent. We got that, too. But, Christmas movies all around. There's actually a couple good ones on Netflix, too. The Claws, I think it's called. And it's an animated one, but it's really well done.
It's a good one.
Tells the origin of Santa Claus in a different way. But I digress. Going into the next question. What is your favorite Christmas dessert?
Okay, I got two, but they go hand in hand because I only ate them for Christmas time, typically. One is your cannoli with the ricotta filling. That's phenomenal. And then two is the Savoyardelle, which you can get both of those year round if you have a baker that makes them. But the Savoyardelle is, I think some people call it a lobster tail or something like that, but it's more of a flaky pastry. So that's my favorite. Now,
I thought about this for a minute when we were talking about the other food and the movies and whatnot. But this is a really, really tough one to nail down because there's all sorts of different cookies, a lot of different pies.
You can name more than one, but what is your top?
Okay, so there are wafer cookies that, again, so known fact about me, or maybe a little unknown fact, is everything my grandma made during Christmas time, was literally my favorite stuff. My mom is the one who, she obviously learned all the recipes, all the stuff, so she makes the same stuff each year. But she makes these wafer cookies, literally just makes pastry, a little sugar pastry, with thin layers, and then makes this homemade filling for the inside of it, and makes the wafer cookies, and they're pretty damn good. Nice. That's my favorite cookie. Now, if you want to go with pie, it would be my mom's apple pie, and she's perfected it. It's gone from one iteration to now it's probably version 20, and it's probably the best apple pie I've had. Nice. There's some people that would argue they have better apple pie, but sorry, nothing beats mom's apple pie. So, mom's cooking, period, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So,
I definitely, I love my apple pie. Good apple pie you can't beat, but the ultimate best. Stop, Nick. The best pie I think out there is strawberry rhubarb.
Ooh, that's a good one too. I like that.
I really like a good strawberry rhubarb pie. That's something my mom does make. We have rhubarb plant out back. She'll harvest and freeze some of it, and able to cook it during Christmas and the holidays and stuff like that. And is it good? But
strawberry rhubarb, I never had it.
Really, it's really good. I don't know how to explain it. It's sweet, I guess a little bit sour in there, but it's good stuff. Yeah. What else have we got here? You guys got any Christmas traditions that you typically do every year with the family? You want to share?
Well, obviously, when I was a kid, we'd wake up, open presents, then we'd be at my aunt's house by 1, and that's where everybody congregated, and that's when we started eating, and we didn't stop eating until like 4:30. It was nuts. But that was really the only Christmas Day traditions we would do. Things kind of got blown out of family members passing away and me leaving for the military, and so we try to keep some of that stuff alive. So I typically so my brother lives in San Antonio. So it's just so happened to be he was in San Antonio, and I moved to San Antonio when the Air Force sent me there. So I picked up doing Christmas Day, all the stuff that we would normally do, So, or at least all the food we would cook all the food that we'd normally cook. So that's what I'm trying to keep alive, at least with my family. So, how about you there now?
Tradition. So one of which that we actually almost not let die this year, but almost let go. And that was getting a live Christmas tree. So every year since I can remember, I've always had a live Christmas tree. And we ended up with a little small Christmas tree. So we have a small live Christmas tree this year, which is pretty cool. My wife would be super mad at me if I didn't. First of all, if we didn't have a tree. Because I told her we're not going to get a stupid tree this year. And then she's like, no, we need a tree. I'm like, fine. I was mad, and I call them stupid trees now because when I was growing up, trees were $25. Now trees are like $60, $65, and you're like, what? But it just grows in the ground and you cut it out. Like, you just, come on. And they're like, no, screw you. You're going to pay out the ass for a tree. But if you get it towards the end of the season, towards the end of the tree sales, they typically cut money off. So it kind of worked out. We actually got $20 off this tree. So it was pretty cool.
Hey, fun fact, I've never, ever had a live tree.
Really?
Ever. No, it was always a tree that was, a fake one that was in a box. And ever since I was a kid, I don't know why. That's just the way I guess my mom had it. And then I just was like, I kind of looked at, I did the analysis on things when I moved out. Obviously, like, if I'm going to have a tree, do I really want to deal with all the pine needles and then, potentially having issues with keeping it alive? And so I was like, I bought a fake tree. Josh, what about you, man?
I'll hit the tree thing real quick. Growing up, we always had a live tree. We never had a fake one. Once I left the house and I was in the military, didn't really have a tree, especially like in Okinawa. I was in the dorm, so I had a little fake Christmas tree in there. And then once my wife and I got together and we were living in the same place, we decided on a fake tree because it was an apartment complex and we didn't want to damage anything with having a real one. And we just kind of kept that in fake tree. But I think next year, the kids are going to be old enough. We're going to get a real tree and start that up again. This is easy, but I think something said to go out there, cutting the tree down and doing that. I have really fond memories as a kid doing that. Me and my brother cutting a tree down in someone's backyard and running through the woods as fast as we can, making it to the house, just stupid stuff. But
so vandalizing someone's property to get yourself a tree. Got it.
To be fair, it wasn't their property. It was ours. It was just, I thought it might've been someone else's. I was young, dumb, but, bringing the tree in the house, hitting the fan, just the little stuff that you can laugh at when you're older. But that's the tree tradition that we're going to be starting next year. The one tradition that my father started was at a certain age, he gave me a compass for Christmas. And it was
it a golden compass?
It was not. It was a normal compass. And he gave me some directions and taught me how to do the compass. And after a little course at the final, heading, there would be a present. And I think it was like 15 when I did my last one. And I swear to God, it was like 10 miles in upstate New York in winter. So he had 10 feet of snow. Oh yeah. He did it before snowfall. So you would go to the heading and you'd hit a tree, and behind the tree would be a stapled plastic bag with the next coordinates. And You,
Finally, there was one.
yeah, you got it off.
Your dad had you doing land nav when you were a kid?
He did. We lived in the woods, man, and he was teaching me some valuable stuff that did well later on in life.
Did he give you a compass and a protractor too?
We didn't get that far. But I want to do that with my son. I think it would be, and my daughter actually. He's 6 right now, so I'm waiting until he's 8 before I start it. But because I want to be sure he's going to keep interest. So I think 8 or 10 is going to be a good age for that. But that's something that I definitely want to keep going. But valuable skill. I know right now, you pull your phone out and check, but your phone dies, or your GPS ain't working. A compass is always going to be there as long as you have one. And that's one of the rules we have is you don't go in the woods unless you have a compass.
You should do one for your kids, but in Browns Mills. Not playing.
I don't want getting shot or stabbed.
All right, you're going to go to the corner of so-and-so and so-and-so and talk to the crackhead. He's got your bag of...
Well, the good thing is, and Nick, you know this, but there's a lot of land the base owns here because they have the Army and they do land nav and stuff like that. So, if we luck out and we're still here in a couple of years, he starts that, I have a lot of places I can bring him. And it still be, safe and in real woods versus going down and go to the corner of McDonald's, step 3, paces to the right. But,
yeah, let me know if you need to sign out a dagger. I can hook you up.
I definitely will. But yeah, that is definitely one of the Christmas traditions I would like to keep going on in our house. You guys got anything else? I keep going with the Christmas stuff.
Them are smoked on there. Update those of you that aren't watching. I've literally been trying to muscle these off, and surprisingly enough, they didn't break. So,
your arms?
You muscled them off?
I did. I was actually kind of scared though, because when I initially broke it, broke the torque, we'll call it. Yeah. I was like, "Oh no, I broke it." That's what I thought. But no, it ended up actually coming out. So, let's see here.
What are you guys doing this year?
Actually, it's actually a good one. So I guess let's start with that one. So because so we found out a lot of our airmen, so our troops, for those that are listening, a lot of them, for some reason, didn't get adopted, quote unquote, for Thanksgiving. A lot of them said they had stuff to do, but they didn't do anything. We had one senior airman that lives on base and went to the chow hall for Thanksgiving. I'm like, if you go to the chow hall for Christmas this year, I'm going to kick your ass. There is so much food and stuff that's going to be made that's homemade that isn't DFAC food. Now, mind you, typically they break out the good seasonings, okay, in the chow hall sometimes. A little bit of salt, if you will.
Blow the dust off.
Yeah.
This has been here for 20 years.
But
that they're controlled items, so they...
Yeah, totally.
Sign it out. Use only a teaspoon per batch.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I'm taking over some folks. I'm adopting them, quote unquote, for this year's Christmas. So I'm gonna have probably a handful of folks over. We're gonna have a good time doing that. Probably play some board games and stuff. We did board games during Thanksgiving, and it actually worked out pretty good. So we're gonna repeat something like that. And then I'm actually working in the shop the entire time. Nick, before you jumped on, I was just talking about how I'm upgrading, calibrating, cleaning all my stuff for the new year. That's what's happening. Obviously here, I'm trying to get this 2.2 on my machine tomorrow morning and going. But the majority of the pain, if you will, is getting this together. So before you got on, I swapped the 65 to the 80, and now I'm putting the stuff on the 2.2. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing for Christmas. Feeding some airmen and NCOs, having a good merry old time, and then going back to work on the 3rd. Oh, crap. I got Cadam on the 3rd. Oh.
Is that indoors?
No.
Good luck.
I'm going to need it.
It's going to be fun.
Dress warmly. If you don't know what Cadam is, that means he's going to the range to qualify on a weapon or a couple weapons, depending on what he's...
Yeah.
I hope I get to shoot the shotgun, because that's going to
be... Yeah. What about you, Josh?
Well, we're not going to do too much. We're going to do a traditional Christmas, essentially, wake up, open presents, whatnot, and have a big dinner that night. we do have some traditions with that. You know, the kids wake us up and we'll go downstairs all together. Stockings usually first, and open the presents. We usually have someone that hands them out. My oldest is going to be pretty excited, so it's going to be hard to temper that. And then this year is the first year of my little girl. She's 2, so she kind of understands, you know, what's going on, and I'm curious to see how she reacts to, you know, everything and what Santa Claus brings and what we give her and stuff like that.
She's like, Santa brought me a saw stop. Awesome, Dad. Thanks.
Yeah. It would be a table essentially in the shop. Unfortunately, I don't have enough power to run one. But
even the contractor one?
I'm not going back to a contractor saw. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's saw stop or whatever.
Once upon a time, the contracting saws had a place in our hearts. They no longer do.
Yeah, I could never go back to one. If I guess I had to and no choice, sure. But no, not after having a, you know, cabinet saw that, you know, I can actually cut things and not worry about cutting my finger off too much, and you know, have a space to work, and, you know, that wing for my router table, and yeah,
yeah,
I'm
man, you got the
spoiled.
setup.
I am my setup. I might have a very small garage, but I got everything in there. The only thing I don't have is a lathe, so maybe Santa Claus will bring me one of those. If not, we'll see what I can do.
Nope,
But
Mrs. Claus already said no to you. Sorry.
well, we'll see. You know, it's not something I need, but I think it would definitely bring some interest into the shop with some other stuff. Every time you get something new in the shop, seems like you get orders for that directly. And I mean, like, that's, I'm hoping for anyway. Do some bowls and stuff like that, and mallet handles and stuff. It would be nice. So
Yeah, man.
Just get this right. This part right here gets kind of sketchy because I can't tell if I'm tightening it or twisting my threads off. So
yeah, I did that.
So we're doing the same thing, just having the kids wake up, open presents, then it goes directly from that into the kitchen where I spend the rest of my day.
Yeah, but I mean, if you enjoy cooking, I know I do. It's not so bad. It's hectic, yeah, but it's worth it.
I do enjoy it, but not when you stay up late the night before. Oh, man.
Yeah, I get you. I am actually trying to determine after the podcast if I want to either edit while something's running on the laser, or do some invoicing and some designing and go to bed fairly early. And I say early, probably 12 o'clock. So I'm not quite sure myself.
So yeah, I would suggest the latter. You'll thank yourself tomorrow.
Yeah, I probably should. Especially because I got to wake up early. Because I wake up around 7 to do my work stuff. And then try to get that all knocked out. Should be fairly late tomorrow, but
yeah,
not too bad. Got meetings and whatnot. But hey, unless you guys got another Christmas question or anything you want to add, we can start wrapping this up so Nap can start playing with this toy in private.
Yeah, this thing is okay. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to turn out, but this is definitely heavier than hell. It's about twice the weight of the other one. So I'm very interested to see how this thing handles it. But anyways,
well, all right. Patrons watching, we will, from all of us here at the Sawdust Nation podcast, we want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas, as well as the rest of our listeners. We hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, whatever you celebrate, and we can't wait to be back and tell you all the goodies that we got from Santa Claus. But if you're looking for goodies that Santa didn't bring you, you might want to check out PWN CNC, because Daniel over there is cooking up some good stuff in his little workshop with his elves. So check them out, pwncnc.com, for 10% off your order. Use promo code SawdustNation981 and tell Daniel that the boys at Sawdust Nation sent you. Sawdust Nation podcast sent you. And next, we want to thank Total Boat for their continued support. And if you want the promo code for Total Boat, shoot us a DM. And next up, we want to also give a very warm thank you to our affiliates, OhmTech, as well as Makerstock.com. So if you want that Makerstock.com promo code, check out our show notes, and you can save 10% off your order. And with that, I'm going to kick it on over to Nap.
Yeah, folks, so check it out. If you're listening to us on old Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, any of the podcast catchers, go give us 5 stars. Randomly got something in my eye there. If you don't give us 5 stars, tell us why you didn't give us 5 stars. Because if you don't tell us what you want, what you really, really want, we can't give you the content that you just deserve. But if you do give us 5 stars, still give us a little bit of feedback. Let us know how we're doing, and maybe give us some topic ideas, maybe some questions to ask. And I'm saving a question we did get for the next podcast because this is our Christmas episode. So Christmassy is what we wanted to stick with. I really got something in my eye. So on that, if you want to get a hold of us, Josh, how do they do that? And this is annoying. I don't know what I just got in my eye.
If you want to get a hold of us, you can reach us on Instagram at Sawdust Nation Podcast. You can hit all 3 of us there, and we'll try to get back at you as soon as we can. You never know who's going to write back, so that's the interesting part. If you want to reach us individually, go ahead and do that by reaching out to Nick from MPG Creations, Nap from Nap's Nutty Works LLC, or myself, North Country Woodworking. Love to talk to you guys about what's happening in the shop, topic ideas, questions you may have, or, just BS. With that, if you are not an Instagram fan or Facebook fan, you can always hit us up at our Gmail account at sawdustnationpodcast@gmail.com and do the same thing. Ask us questions, topic ideas. We're there if you guys need us, and that's why we do this. So it's we look forward to hearing from you and answering your questions. For our listeners that want to get more involved with the podcast, the easiest way to do that is actually become a Patreon. Our Patreons are in the 3rd tier, get to watch us live while we record, interact in the chat, give us ideas, topic ideas, questions, and even answer some of the questions that we're having and their insight. So it's the ultimate way to be part of the podcast is become a Patreon. And you can find those links on our Instagram and our link tree and in our personal profiles as well. With that, let's go with our final words with Nap still playing with his toy.
I am. Hey, listen, folks. I don't know about y'all, but I like making a really good use of my time. So I get to talk with you all, give you all good content, and play with my toys. If you're not watching as a patron, well, you don't know what toys those might be, so I guess you have to use your imagination. But on that, it is Christmas, folks. A lot of folks out there right now either A, celebrate with their families, or B, have no one to celebrate it with. If you know people that are out there right now that are doing things on their own and not really doing a whole lot, and they live right down the street, a couple blocks away, whatever the case may be, invite them over for the holidays. Help them, give them some company. But if they're not those kind of people and they're just more introverted, just check on them, see how they're doing, make sure they're doing all right, because it is that time of year when things get extra lonely. But that's what it's about, being a part of this community, is making sure we're all taken care of, not only in the shop, but out of the shop as well. So on that, Nick, what you got, bud?
Well, like always, take care of yourselves and each other. And just like Santa, folks, he keeps himself STD free because he always wraps his package before shoving it down a dirty chimney. So do yourselves a favor, have a Merry Christmas, wrap that package.
Thank you for listening to the 130th episode of Sawdust Nation Podcast. We truly enjoy doing this for you guys and coming back every week. Make sure you're listening to us when you're making that cup of coffee Christmas morning, or when you're making breakfast or getting in the shop, working out. We don't care how you listen. We just want to make sure we can whisper in your ear and talk shop. With that, thank you. Have a Merry Christmas. Well, we'll see you before the new year. So go make some sawdust. And Sawdust Nation out.
And to all a good night.
Man, you all a bunch of ho-ho-hos. Tell you what.
You know it.
That's right. You know the difference between Santa and Tiger Woods is, right? Santa was smart enough to stop at 3 hoes.
Zing.